Welcome, dear students. Here is very interesting and exciting research experiment conducted by Hans Eysenck. His theory is quite relevant, exuberating, and practical also at the same time. I have been very much impressed with that. That's why I have dwelt on it at large. Here, the essence of my dwelling I am giving out here. Hans Eysenck research experiment is based on two important things. There is biological factors. Autonomous nervous system, that's first one, and the second one is cerebral cortex. Cerebral cortex means the outer layer of the brain. And this function is thinking, creativity, and immediate reaction to the situation. That is the function of cerebral cortex. So depending upon these two systems, autonomic nervous system and the cerebral cortex system, and man's reaction to the environment, that is called interactionist analysis or approach he has followed. He has actually conducted some research while he was working with some psychiatrists. He has issued some questionnaires to different soldiers and he collected the answers. After collecting the answers, he has analyzed into three groups, three types, three dimensions of personalities he has traced out. The first one is one type, that is introvert and extrovert. The second type, that is neuroticism and stability. And the third type, psychoticism and normality. So three categories broadly he has decided, and this is called types or traits or dimensions of the personality based on the factor analysis. What factor? Biological factors. How we shall be seeing now, one by one. We can explain. I will explain. Introvert and extrovert, the first type. What is introvert and what is extrovert? A person who has been endowed with this kind of, or afflicted, actually speaking, afflicted with this introversion, he is called introvert. And some people will have the extroversion nature, and that man is called extrovert. Now, let us see one by one. Extroversion. That means an extrovert is a person who is an open mind. He is a very optimist. He is a very dynamic person. He will be revealing each and everything to others. He is quite understandable to others. That is the first thing, important thing. And he takes life as a challenge. And he enjoys thrills in our life. And he will be very much influenced by the stimulus. Because that means that he has a more stimulus. He is a more stimulant man. Extrovert. And when we come to this introvert, here the arousal system, in respect of extrovert, the arousal system is moderate. What is that arousal system? The level of arousal in the cerebral cortex is moderate. That's why it's calm, peaceful. Whereas here in respect of extrovert, the arousal system is over. That is, a over arousal system he has in the cerebral cortex, in the brain. Immediate reaction, no, here always concealing himself, and hidden personality he is, and reserved. He doesn't, as in the case of extrovert is sociable, whereas introvert is not sociable, always concealed, and he likes isolation also at the same time. He doesn't like to enjoy the life to the full. And here the stimulus is very less here in respect of introvert, and introvert man is somewhat dangerous also. He is detrimental to himself and to the society. And I have already made one video about extrovert and introvert. You can just see if you are interested. So this is one type of personality. For example, I would like to give you illustration also here so that you can understand what is introvert and who is introvert and who is extrovert. See, some students after completion of their 10th class, they would like to make a choice at +2 level. That means choice of taking sciences or arts or commerce or something else. When that boy, particular boy, is interested in accountancy and commerce. But the parents are forcing him to join some science group. So the extrovert will say openly, no, 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 no parents. He will say openly to the parents, no, I am not interested in science and technology, this engineering and all that. I am very much interested in chartered accountancy. I would like to go that way. He says very openly, daringly. He will take that as a challenge. He will enjoy the thrill there because of his choice, openness. Whereas introvert is something different. He can't say. Suppose parents are bringing pressure on him. You take only science because science is the only subject. Science and engineering or technology is the only subject in the world. You study only that. Suppose parents say like that, they are insisting on it. This introvert, okay, as you like it, he will say simply. He doesn't like to reveal himself. He can't express himself openly, very clearly. So that is the nature of introvert, and he is somewhat dangerous. And though not dangerous, at least he is very much detrimental to himself and to others also, to the family members. So this is extroversion and introversion is one type of personality. The second type is a neuroticism. What is this? A neuroticism and stability. It's quite opposite to stability. Neurotic means a sort of neurosis or nervous system, nervous weakness. Nervous, suppose I feel, for each and everything he feels nervous, we say. That means neurotic. That means anxiety, a lot of worry, tension according to the situation. When he is placed some hustle and bustle or some confusion, or tension or anxiety, or he will be yielded to that anxiety or tension or phobia or fear. I shall give you an example so that you can understand it very clearly. One boy, after completion of his PG qualification, he has been appointed in some company. But there, his working conditions are very tight from morning to evening, 5, 6 o'clock. And he feels somewhat nervous because for the first time he has joined his some service. He feels somewhat nervous. He has some a lot of tensions, worries and all that. In addition to that, what has happened, the boss, the colleagues, they are giving him busy schedules. And he feels nervous whether I can complete this target or not. Unnecessary tension. And moreover, he has been given one accommodation in some apartment, and that is very closed one, not open, congested, a small room. Actually, he was accustomed to staying in a very broad house in his residence there, in his native place. He could not cope up. He developed some anxiety, some worry, discomfort, and immediately being submitted or yielded to that, succumbed to that unpleasant situation with worry and anxiety, he left the job and came back to his native place because of his neurotic neurotic mentality, instability, no stability at all, no stable mind. So a person who is afflicted with this neuroticism will become nervous, he will lose the stability and all that. This is a second type or second dimension of trait, personality trait. And the third one is a psychoticism. Psychoticism is quite opposite to this normality. That means no normal behavior, abnormal behavior, always emotional, impulsive. Psychoticism means psychosis also we can say. A person afflicted with psychosis is a psychotic, we say. So psychoticism here refers to some aggressive nature, impulsive character, emotional, angry moody type, unable to move with others. Always he wants to be in loneliness, isolation, and very difficult to handle such type of persons afflicted with this psychoticism. Very difficult. I will give you one example. One boy, after completion of his during his 10th class, his mother has left. He left for her husband by taking some other man's hand. This boy was this boy underwent some trauma, mental trauma, inexplicable pain, mental pain in himself. He could not travel outside, suffering a lot. His father was looking after him well. Even then, because of his mother's desertion, he felt somewhat uneasy mentally, suffering in himself, feels somewhat inferior in the society. He turned to be impulsive, highly impulsive, always emotional. Mind is not stable, and quite abnormal mind he developed with others. Even with his father, he talks in a different way, a rebellious nature. Suppose his father comes and asks him, "What? Come on, let's go to movie, let's go to temple." "Ah, no, I don't want to come. You can go." Like that he says. And even he could not move happily with his friends also, classmates also. He feels somewhat inferior because of his mother's desertion and all that. So always he wants to be isolated, and a sort of a peculiar, eccentric character he has developed. It is very difficult. His father found it very difficult for him to handle this man. We have observed a very in practical society. So that is one type of or one dimension of personality. The third type or third trait of personality. So likewise, in this way, Hans Eysenck categorized three kinds. The first one, introversion and extroversion. The second one is neuroticism and stability. And the third one is psychoticism and versus normality. So these three kinds of dimensions or personalities will be formulated because of the interaction. What interaction? Interaction between the biological factor. That's why he called it as a factor analysis also. The biological factors like nervous system and the reaction or arousal system of cerebral cortex. These two biological. He called it as biological predispositions. That means the very immediate reaction of these cerebral cortex and to the nervous system will have the impact on the framing of the personality of the person. So when he interacts with the environment. So between environment and his biological factor, these two biological factors, when there is a clash, when there is such type of interaction between these two, man's personality will have three kinds of or three shapes. And these three are first introversion and extroversion, the second one is neuroticism, and the third one is psychoticism. So this is what he says. Here, what we have to understand is biological factor is also responsible. It has also its great impact on our mind when a person interacts or adapts to the environment. This is the thing we have to observe here. So this is called interactionist approach to personality theory. Thank you very much. And if you are impressed, please subscribe.